The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Long before the sects divided, there was the enveloping darkness. It was in this dark humanity learned to trust the light, to run from shadows, and most importantly, to fear.
Brutality and superstition walked hand in hand in this dark time, but also hope. Hope that the heroes of this age could hold back the monsters and illuminate the path through the shadows.
The children of Cain are no different. Some run from the shadows, some turn to the light, and some become the monsters of legend passed down from one hearth to another.
Their story is one of loss, one of struggle, and one of death. For what can survive in the wake of those that cannot die?
This is what it means to be a myth made flesh. This is what it means to be a vampire in the dark.
Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Cainite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for that little cut short intro. Let me move the mouse away from the scene change because I'm randomly clicking when I shouldn't. Yeah, that happens with me. Sorry for the cut short intro and then the me disappearing briefly in the disclaimer. But welcome everybody to Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. I am the storyteller, I think, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I will be playing Elena Thorndaughter of Clan Lusumber.
I am Zachary Naldra, he, him, and I am playing Brother Miguel of the Gangrel.
I think I'm Junie Von Esch, and I think I'm playing Peregrine Gwen McSullivan of Clan Essamite, who's playing a Toreador, I think.
To continue the uncertainty, hello, my name is Maddox, and I am playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu.
Hi, everybody. I am pretty sure that I am playing Agustin de la Cruz, also of Clan La Sombra, and I am for sure, maybe 90% that I am the Ragnar's Archon.
That's fine. That y'all want to make fun of me. That's great. Because
he's gonna murder all our characters.
Because I already got something planned. So before we start this, when I can still talk about this way, the players have already seen in Foundry, I made a bunch of hidden rolls before the game even started. Uh-huh. Oh, and I forgot one. Hang on, I got to make one more private roll. Shit. There we go. This is my track. Ooh, okay. The tracking roll.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's an event I'm rolling for each episode until I get a certain successes, and then that event starts to occur. You see, welcome to Shanky's Games. When we were last with this group of Cainites here, well, they dealt with the aftermath of the pre-starting problems. They gathered up actually quite a bit of info. And then they had their war council where they had an unexpected visitor. Zelio showed up to work on some wards that he feels almost compelled to put in place. But he has left plans before he left for a pit trap type mechanism that, well, I mean, a simple pit trap, that's easy. But his pit trap involves when people fall in it, the ceiling comes down with it. It's a little more complex. But as we're opening up here, there's an event before we skip forward more days in time that we have to cover. And that is, there's an attempted mugging that at least one member of the coterie has decided they are going to attempt to put a stop to. So I need to know, starting off, who all is planning to stop this mugging? And since it's in an alleyway, you know the alleyway, how do you plan to deal with the mugging? What is your game plan for it?
It is very simple on my end. Hidden the whole time, and then I'm going to have rats swarm the attacker until he either faints, pisses himself, or runs away. Specifically, I'm going to make sure to do my best not to kill him, because the ghost is kind of against death. Doesn't make it easy, but not impossible. So
who did you invite to your slumber party?
I told everyone about it, so whoever wants to show up.
All right. I'm bringing s'mores. And by s'mores, I mean arms of Araman.
I will go because I have a few tools at my disposal in case we do not have to resort to rats gnawing on his feet. Yes, I can pull shadows to me and either try to blend in a little bit better or use them to enhance my intimidation as I command him to not do that.
What part of the city is this alley in?
It's not far from the religious quarter. It's actually in the merchants area, the trade section.
And Storyteller, you said that this was like it was the alley that Last stays in, right?
Yes.
Like it's his area?
It's his alley, yes.
Okay. Explains why he knew what was going to happen in it so accurately.
Gwen will go, but she's going to be very hidden, and she'll act if need be, but only because it's part of her quarter.
Okay, so when you say you're going to go and be hidden, are you going to be in the alley? You're going to be on one of the buildings that flank the alley? Because there's roofs on these things, and since you're in a city, they're not exactly normal thatched roofs. They're a lot of flat roofs, which...
Oh, she'll be on a roof.
Okay.
Watching down.
I'm guessing the ghost is going to be in the alley with us. Like, he can't interact, but I'm guessing he's going to be watching.
You think so, yes?
Okay.
He didn't confirm that.
I didn't ask either, so...
If it's close enough in the merchant's quarter to where Miguel may have a booth that he sells his wares through a intermediary, he will be manning the booth that night and watching the alley.
So you're aware, the booths close at dark. This is the Dark Ages. Everything closes at dark except for the taverns and inns. So
I mean,
you can sit at your booth. You'd either have to be hidden in it, or you would look very strange being the only merchant in his booth.
I mean, he certainly could be packing up something or working on making a repair to his booth of some sort.
I will go with that.
Snatcher is apparently using Silence of Death.
No, Snatcher just noticed I made a roll when I said that, when you said that. I just had to check
I believe
something.
we're all going, Storyteller.
Yep. No, I'm making sure everyone's got their plan. So we got Peregrine on the building, Miguel.
I will generally be guard of the woman. So I will be last line before the guy can get to her. I'll try to stop him.
So your initial plan, you're hoping to catch him in the alley first, because that would prevent him from getting to her. So you all arrive and you're watching the place. Please give me... You can do perception alertness or perception awareness. Depending on which you roll will tell you what I tell you.
Alertness is mundane. And
Yep,
awareness
and awareness is supernatural.
Okay.
My suggestion as storyteller is to make sure that at least somebody's rolling each one. You don't want to.
Who's doing alertness?
I'm doing awareness.
It's the same pool for me either way. So
Yeah, I'm doing alertness.
Whatever we don't have more.
Will my specialty of detect weakness count for this?
Not for this, but
I'm doing
there will
alertness too.
maybe a use for it later.
Okay.
And it will just remind us always that I have heightened senses on.
Yep.
I got 3 on awareness.
With heightened senses, I have 5 on awareness.
3 on
And
awareness,
difficulty
5 on
6, I got 3 on alertness.
3 on alertness.
I actually just realized I have a perception specialty of eyes in the back of my head. Does that
Yes,
help
that
at all?
does apply.
If you get a 10,
Look at you getting
Cross my
your...
wits, and I got a 5 on wits and awareness. Wits and alertness, I'm sorry.
3 successes because of a 10.
Okay. So in the alertness, looks like the alertness is a lot of 3s. You got a 5 awareness, which is good. Miguel, you realize that this night with 5 on your awareness, the shadows in the marketplace are off. They're not behaving like shadows should.
was this similar to how I have seen either Augustine or Elena
No,
manipulate shadows?
no.
This
Not
is
at all.
just off.
There's movement in shadows. Now, got to remember what you've seen Augustine and Elena do. They have limited as to how much power they have. There's movement in shadows that shouldn't have movement. That is not caused by a person behind it. For the alertness people, I will let you know when you hear somebody approaching, whether it's the woman or the mugger.
I imagine there's a rat of some sort that I can
There's definitely, I've placed them around this area.
send a message to Snatcher about the shadows moving in unnatural ways.
I'm not going to make you roll for that because it's not like you have to convince the rat. These are Snatcher's rats, which means as long as you can speak rat, they will pass messages. So Snatcher, while you all are waiting, you may be obfuscated. Animals have a way of seeing through that for some time, especially, well, your animals see you. So the rat's standing under you, talking. Now,
right.
as you recall, if you talk to the rat, I do not remove your obfuscate. That just reveals you to whoever can hear you talk to the rat. Because other people that wouldn't hear it wouldn't know you're there.
Do my best to whisper just to be safe, though.
Okay, so you got your message.
I'll definitely be paying more attention to the shadows, but still mainly looking for this mugger.
Do you share it with Elena and Augustine, who are there with you?
Absolutely. If I keep my coterie in the dark, that only affects our performance. And it seems like throughout our history, we all seem to pride efficiency.
I'm going to try to see what's going on in the area.
Okay, you're going to invoke your...
Herbista's throne.
Mm-hmm. So you make a rouse check for it. It is a rouse check. Yeah, the Koldun spends a blood point.
Not in the Carpathians, I don't.
That's right. You're in the Carpathians. Yep. You're still located there. So it's perception
such a niche,
occult.
Nope.
Such a niche detail.
Yep.
What you don't see is Shanky making the note to get rid of us from the Carpathians.
Well, in history, eventually you won't be in the Carpathians.
Eventually we will move on. And then I'll have to be spilling my blood for this.
Next session, the Carpathian Mountains explode.
Okay, so this one is perception. So it is. Is it Koldunic sorcery plus perception?
No, it's occult.
Occult. Thank you.
All of your powers use occult.
Occult.
Kodunic is
Thank you. I can't remember.
right. Kodunic is just the cap. It's like a worthless discipline you have to spend points on for your cap. It doesn't change the rolls. Kodunic is a double whammy.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, 500 yards roughly, so about 1,500 feet. What are you looking for as you're sweeping your...
To see if anything is trying to hide that I can see.
Anything that the land is aware of.
Mm-hmm.
She notices a shitload of rats.
You see the rats.
That's expected.
You get a vague impression of something in the shadows. Very vague. The land barely knows it's there because, well, if it's in the shadow, it doesn't have a physical form that the land can purely detect. But it is a shadow watching the alley, for sure. It's across from you.
As she blinks a bit and focuses back on where she is. There's something. Don't know what. Very tempted to throw a torch at it.
I'd say reserve that until it moves or acts.
Well, it is watching us. Watching this alley.
The best recommendation is that this might be Snatcher's ghost friend. At the worst, this could be what attacks the girl.
I don't know many of the dead to hide in shadows when they themselves can just hide from view. Seems odd to utilize the darkness when they are already unseen.
So we toss a torch.
Does anyone have one?
No, I don't.
The streets don't use torches. You've got lamp oils or oil oils. Oil lamps, not many of them, but there are oil lamps hung from the street in various places. That's one of the duties of the night patrol is they have to go and either refill them or make sure they're not stolen because, well, stealing the lamps.
Augustine, can you reach the lamp?
I can, but let me try something and see. And I will use one of my new abilities, level 4 Obtenebration, to make it look like there is a woman coming towards the alley.
The shadow of a woman.
The shadow of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to use nightshades.
I am going to use nightshades.
So I'm looking.
Damn,
here.
that's more useful than actually just waiting for the woman.
Okay.
Such a good power.
You know, I'm reading here. It also doesn't say it takes a rouse check.
It does not. That's what
What makes
why
it
I
broken.
went for it.
Wits plus occult, difficulty 7.
Yup. And my specialty of quick assessment won't count for this.
No, come on. A quick assessment for
Come
making
on,
a shadow
man.
move? Yeah, no.
I'm assessing
I
the
get to
shape of a
resist.
woman.
Anything that sees it resists
He's in love with the shape of you.
perception alertness.
I learned that from Ed Sheeran. Oh, I will willpower that. Two successes.
Mhm.
Damn.
2 successes. Okay. So you're making a woman walk down.
Yep.
Okay, what I'm going to need from you at this point, please make me a courage check against difficulty 6. Augustine.
You got it. Courage, difficulty 6. 2 successes.
Okay, as you make the shadows, a voice speaks in your head.
Yeah. Here we go.
That is an interesting trick. The master says your powers are faulty.
The master says my powers are faulty, you say.
You use a pale shadow of what you're capable of.
And I'm saying this out loud so that they can hear my side of what I'm picking up. I would be very interested to see this master of yours, my friend.
Snatcher, get me the lamp.
One moment, and I'm gonna. How high off the ground are these lamps? Like,
They're
do I have
hung-
to climb?
No, they wouldn't be hung high enough to climb because how else are the guard gonna? I mean, they've got a hook to pull them down to make them easier, but they're right. You can. I'll let you say you can jump
just
and
like
kind
do
of
a
get it
small
down.
jump.
Irene is not very tall. You gentlemen are taller than her. You can reach it without her having to jump. Okay?
Well, Snatcher has to jump a little bit. He's
So while
not like a
Snatcher's doing
giant.
that, there is.
We're not edgelords. Like I'm like 5'6", 5'7" at best. Okay. I don't have a trench coat or a katana.
You've turned your back on where your powers come from.
I don't think that I have turned my back on anything, especially not where my powers come from, my friend. Show yourself. Let us talk in the open.
Oh, I am showing myself. I'm in your shadow right now.
Good. That's not a safe place to be, my friend.
I am shadow. Why would it not be safe for me? I am from where your powers are. I come from the source. If you look into me, you will see the darkness. You will see the abyss.
Snatcher, try not to set me on fire when you throw the lamp down at our shadows, please.
And as he gets closer with the lamp, you see a pair of eyeballs lightly glowing.
Oh, no. I take the lamp from Snatcher. I roused twice to boost my dexterity, and I toss it. So that
Okay,
it breaks
I need
into
you.
the shower.
I need you to give me. That is going to be a dex archery.
Would
check.
be athletics? Throwing?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have either, but you know.
I don't think it matters then, does it?
But I still roused twice, so I have 6 decks. Okay.
Roll 6 dice. You're trying not to hit Augustine. You're trying to hit
really
a shadow.
trying not to, and if she must, she'll
Difficulty 8.
Freaking clear out.
Difficulty 8.
I love that. Wouldn't it be this? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Oh, good. I don't have it, but I'm glad that we established this.
That's
There's
my
nuance
that's,
to detail.
That's Mama being contrite.
That is me.
Or contrary. Sorry, contrary. Contrite's not it. Contrary.
I got 4.
Okay. So as you wind back to throw this lantern, and you throw it to the shadow, you see it shoot across. When it detaches, you can see it. It is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is vaguely man-shaped, vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
But the proportions are way off. Its hands are elongated claws.
Mm-hmm.
But it is bipedal, at least.
She looks at Snatch and says, I take it that was not your associate.
Yeah, Snatcher's a bit shell-shocked by that.
Well, he obviously doesn't like fire. And now there's a puddle of burning oil where the lamp has broken.
Yeah. I'm going to back away from the fire because I know what side my bread is buttered on.
I need a raw Shrek from all of you.
Okay.
Or from everybody in the alley, which is just 3 of them. Not you, Peregrine. You're on top. It's not close enough that you're worried about the oil.
Is
Enjoy
it
the view from
willpower
up
or
there.
courage?
No, it is going to be a courage check against your, it's either courage or self-control, depending on which one you have.
Difficulty being...
Or self-control and difficulty? It's a Rorschach check. Let me pull up my list. And I'll double check what you're rolling just to make sure.
Yep, thank you.
Shanky roll notes.
I mean, if it scares me, I technically haven't lost any effectiveness because I already told the rats what to do.
Rorschach is a courage rolls.
Nice.
You need it. Difficulty is going to be pretty easy for you. Difficulty 5.
Okay.
3 successes.
That allows you, you need 5 to completely ignore your beast. So you have a little bit of time before you must flee.
All right, but I can already feel the run, get away feeling.
I got 4.
Okay.
You as well. You have a little bit of time before you must flee this spot.
That's fine.
Augustine, how many did you get?
I got 3.
Yep. So now you have the choice of moving away from it now rather than waiting until you're forced to flee.
I'm backing away.
Yeah, doing my best to still be in the alley, but as far away from the flames as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is one way to prevent a mugging, for sure. Set the alley on fire.
Absolutely. It is multi-purpose.
Let's do our best not to destroy it. I'm sure he wouldn't be happy to lose his spot.
Peregrine, you hear footsteps coming. Miguel, you see a woman approaching the alley.
Do either of us see this shadow creature leaping out of the alley?
Well, Peregrine was on
Since
top. She would have seen it for sure because she was looking invisible down on it as it shot away. Miguel, you've been watching the shadows, I assume, after you initially saw something moving. So you didn't see it get to them, but you saw it bolt out of the alley because it couldn't be stealthy when it was trying to flee being burnt.
I would also hope that since he got the 5 on awareness, that he would be really attuned to weird shadows running around.
That's the
least
only
for the
one you've
moment.
seen move, though.
But does the shadow creature just run in the direction of,
You're pretty
just
sure
run off and disappear?
it shot into the alley across from where your fellow Canaanites are hiding. But as soon as it reached there, the darkness that's there, you've lost it. It probably sunk deeper into the alley to where you couldn't keep line of sight on it anymore. The woman seems to be strolling by herself. She doesn't appear to be doing fast movements. She seems almost blissfully unaware of what's coming. Peregrine, you do hear footsteps. They're trying to be stealthy, but yeah, you know a little bit more about stealth than they do as an Asimite. So somebody is stealthily approaching the place.
I want to make sure I'm watching and covering what I can.
The rest
If I need be, I'll jump down and distract the woman and kind of U-turn her if I need to.
Miguel, do you intercept the woman at all?
As the woman is about to enter the alley, a loud noise is heard as a box drops and I fall over the edge of my stall. And I'm not exactly sure how possible this is. Imagine with an awkward enough fall, a bone might break and make a snapping sound.
You're kindred. You do know you can, since pain is less for you, you can break your bone if you so choose.
Out of respect, willingly injuring yourself for an effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be a crack as the outer bone in the forearm breaks as he lands on the ground into the street after dropping this heavy box of something. Leather goods of some sort.
Okay, that causes the woman to turn to look now, flashing back in the alley. Peregrine, you're on top of the building at first. You see the person before the ones in the alley because they were distracted by moving away from the fire. A guy is coming out of the backside, up the backside of the alley. It's obviously a cut purse of some kind. He's short. His clothes are ragged. But there is something very odd. In his hand is a curved knife. The blade of it is covered in swirling shadow. And he's moving up the alley. I give you first reaction before I reveal it to the rest of the three. Now, the woman that Miguel has conveniently distracted, she never walked right in front of the alley, so he doesn't see his target. But Peregrine, you get to decide what you're going to do first. And yes, if you wish to jump down with your unseen, you can do it and still remain unseen. But I give you first reaction.
That's exactly what she'll do because she knows that her friends are in that alley waiting for him. And that's a very interesting knife that could also hurt them too. And she's not going to turn around and put her friends in danger if need be. We've gotten the woman distracted. Now let's get this guy. Because he's got something nefarious in his hands, and this has to be dealt with.
Now, the rest of the group, of course, doesn't see Peregrine at all. But you do see the guy come around the corner. He's got his knife is held low. Like he's planning to rush up and use it to disembowel someone. For Augustine and Elena, the black swirling that you see on it, it's pure shadow. It is, well, the abyss itself.
If I pull shadows to me, can I pull it off that knife?
You could try. That would at least tell you something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. So you're gathering the shadows to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't
Glenn's
know
got her
whether
nights
it
out
would be
and
better or
everything,
worse
so-
for you to succeed this roll.
I don't know if it's a roll
Not
needed
wrong.
for that power. Let me
It's
double
not.
check. You just draw the power shoot. As you draw the shadows darker, the blade doesn't change at all. The shadow that is around it isn't pulled with the rest of the shadows. It is almost as if it's part of the blade itself now.
Peregrine
That's
will
what you're doing.
actually go-
Augustine, what were you doing? And then we'll come back to Peregrine.
Yeah.
As I see Elena kind of trying to interact with the shadows, I'm going to do one better. Fuck this guy is my mentality. So if he's got shadows on his blade, that gives me a carte blanche to summon my arms from that shadow to just wrap around him.
Ooh, you're going to try to use the
You're muted.
You're going to try to use the shadows that's on the blade.
Yep.
I'm going to let you roll for it.
Then let me show
Manipulation
you.
occult. Difficulty is 7.
Perfect. I will rouse twice for
Can I assist him in this?
manipulation.
Okay.
So I get a little hungrier.
I've seen enough non-existent hentai in this age to know where this is going.
Yeah. What's the difficulty? 7?
Yep, difficulty 7. This is a very interesting interaction here that I'm deciding.
We're using our creativity.
Mhm.
Yep.
Creativity isn't always positive.
No, but it's fun.
No, but even in failure, you learn something.
You've learned something, right?
4 successes. I believe that gives me 4 tentacles.
Ooh.
As you call upon the powers of the abyss, the powers of shadow, try to pull forth tentacles. What ends up happening is the tentacles, they don't manifest, but the blade grows darker and the swirling on it more angry.
It doesn't.
You are sure, by the way, what you just tried to do and what you felt. This blade, at least, is covered in something made of the actual abyss. It is not of this world, technically.
Okay.
I will let Elena and Augustine give me an occult roll with intelligence, please.
All right.
Because this pertains to only letting them roll because it pertains to their clan.
Yep.
See, this is why you don't work with the dark.
Right?
It has no master.
I got 3.
3?
2 at difficulty 6.
Both of you vaguely know there are talks of members of Clan Lasombra who have turned their back on traditional uses of obteneration and have embraced instead the power of the pure abyss and the madness that entails. They refer to it as abyss mysticism. You've never met one, but you've heard rumors.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
Your clan founder supposedly is a fan of it.
Yeah. We all know he's madder than a hatter.
So, Peregrine, what is your action? You saw the shadows darken in the alley. It didn't affect it. You saw what looked like tentacles start to grow off it, but the blade apparently grew stronger in the shadows. Now, you're still unseen. And the guy is kind of looking, and then he finally lays his eyes on Elena and Augustine. And you realize, for you, Peregrine, you're close enough. His eyes are wide. He's almost maddened as he appears to be about to make a move on them.
I'm behind him, correct? Or at least I believe I
You
put
can
myself
be,
behind
yes.
him.
You can wait for him to walk right past you and be behind him and snatch him before he gets any further than that.
Oh, as soon as he does pass me, I will be behind him.
Yep.
I have 2 blades. One blade goes to his throat. The other blade goes to the inside part of his hand with the blade that he is holding. And I'm pushing the dagger into his palm too, right where that pressure point is, to drop it, and the blade to pull him back so that he goes with me. And then I will tell him, you shouldn't be carrying things that you don't know what you have in.
Okay, so
And
we're going to go
I'm
with...
not killing him, but I'm pulling him back.
Now, that's a called shot, but he's not aware of you, so I'll let those cancel out. I'll give you difficulty 6. Dex melee difficulty 6.
You got it.
And for those wondering where I come up with difficulties on stuff like this, I'm not going to take the time to look it up. That slows the game down. I make a judgment call. We'll balance them out this time. Never be afraid to keep the game moving.
Rousing 1 dex.
Okay.
That's a 5 again.
5. You get the blade in his hand, and you see his hand go slack. But the blade doesn't fall. It's stuck to him.
She'll gently say, so that her friends can hear, well, that's some grip you have. Take it, it's not your own grip.
And he
Can't
just...
drop it, can you?
The words that come out of his mouth are barely legible. He is sputtering over and over, kill them, kill. Blood must injure somebody. It's a normal person's voice. But he's almost foaming at the mouth as he's sputtering.
Put him out of his misery.
And he's fighting against you, trying to pull away from you. He wants to continue with his eyes locked on Elena.
Yes, come to me, darling.
He was sent to kill somebody, a woman in the alley, wasn't he?
Uh-huh. And she's a woman in the alley. Come to me, darling.
Do you want him? Do you want him to
No,
come to
you have a
Okay.
blade to his freaking throat.
Know this. You're
Kill
saying
him.
come to me, darling. I'm just making sure.
Such
She was a
miscommunication.
distraction. She has served her purpose.
Very well.
I'm
Two
picking
excellent
up.
distractions.
I'm picking up mixed signals here, guys. I'm gonna need.
End his
If it-
suffering.
Yeah. If she'll just look at Snatcher going, his mind. I'm sorry. He's got to go.
Necessity is
Jill.
necessity.
So I'm not even going to make your roll. He's fighting, trying to break free of you. All you have to do is loosen your grip and he will pull himself onto your blade to get out of your grip. It's not in his right mind. The commotion in the alley causes the woman to look down. And the moment she looks down, sees, well, somebody just getting their throat cut. She screams and takes off running. No care about
But she
Mr. Broken
doesn't
Arm
die
either.
This night.
No, she doesn't. She runs away, leaving Zach, who's got a broken arm. That's not an aggravated for a kindred. A broken arm isn't,
That's a superficial.
especially considering it was a targeted. I'll give you two
Can you heal that?
superficial.
Can heal that in like an hour or two.
I can heal
He's
that
fine.
faster than that if he wants to rouse to do it. It's specific area. It's too superficial. So
Bashing in this edition,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, bashing. Yep.
I passed both rouses to
Okay.
heal that.
So you grab your arm and just straighten it back out and do your little hand movement and your arm's fixed.
I mean, I make sure I go back into the stall so it's not like in public view.
About the
I
same
mean, why the
result.
fuck not? They know we're vampires.
Because I don't want someone knowing that I can do that.
So
There's somebody watching, making the shadows move. There's probably somebody else watching that I'm not seeing. Hey,
So for the rest of you, Miguel, are you going to approach the alley now? You heard a commotion in there.
is the coast clear, or has this woman
This woman
screamed?
bolted. She ran
Right.
like hell when she saw somebody getting killed.
But
Wow,
did her
intelligence in the Dark
scream,
Ages.
attack, bring any undue attention to the alley?
Not yet. You won't
Not
know
yet.
until a guard shows up. But you have Augustine there. It's not like if it matters if the patrol shows up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way over to the alley and see what's going on then.
Okay, so while Miguel's coming over, Peregrine, Elena, Snatcher, and Augustine, you have a dead man with a blade that is...
Still stuck to him?
no, when he died, the blade fell to the ground.
Hmm.
But the blade is still black as night.
I am going to take off my cloak I'm wearing and wrap the blade in that.
Okay. Just through the cloak, it's cold.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but at least it's not going to come into contact with her flesh.
Hmm.
And we can see about destroying it.
Leave the body, take the body, change the body. What do you all think?
And your ghost friend said that we shouldn't kill anyone, but this was inevitable.
Out of our control.
Correct.
At least his preferred person did not suffer.
Correct.
But he's no longer a person we need to worry about killing. He's just a thing.
He wasn't the person when I was even trying to talk to him. He was sputtering craziness. He lost it. He was foaming at the mouth.
I believe the blade had something to do with that.
So I wouldn't even consider him a person at that time. And he wouldn't drop the blade. I had his point right here. Anyone who does fencing knows if you hit this point, you drop it.
Right. You're good with medicine. Is his heart slowing?
She'll check his pulse.
Oh, he
Was
dead.
he alive?
Oh, he did.
Was he alive at any point, though, is the question.
You had your hand.
When her dagger went in him, He bled like he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take his pulse before I killed him.
Not criticizing your kill. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I'm saying that I didn't check it, so I didn't know.
I am certain that the blade had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It's all black and swirling.
It is something from the abyss.
Was that what that black fucking thing that ran across into the other alley was?
That's what it claimed. It certainly doesn't like fire, though. So if we ever run into beings like that again, we know to fight it with fire.
Yeah, I saw that dashing out. That was weird.
Did you see where it went when it fled, Miguel?
The other alley, across the other alley.
Yes, I will be searching the body.
I was about to say, we know Peregrine's going to be
Yeah.
searching the body. That's just common sense.
Your loot!
There's always at least one loot monkey.
If we kill them, we get their stuff.
As you go through his pockets,
He has to make a final donation to the church.
Peregrine,
Yeah,
give me a
fuck you,
willpower
church.
check against difficulty 9, please.
Oh, glad that's you and not me. I'm going to meander over to the other alley, like I was told.
Take a lantern.
Good thing we run the city. We know how to replace that shit.
You said 9, correct?
Yes, 9. And remember, it's capped by, actually, no, in this case, it's not capped. It's 9, based on your willpower.
That is only 2.
Okay. As you reach your hand in his pocket, you come across a coin. And when you touch it, for the briefest moment, you feel the urge to kill a woman, to stab her, to pull her entrails out. But with an effort of will, you push that thought out of your mind. And it happened the moment you touched the coin.
You will rip off a piece of her cloth, pick the coin up with the cloth, pull it out and go, this is what it is. If you touch it, you're going to want to feel like you want to kill somebody. Well, preferably a woman, and cut out her entrails. This is what's in his pocket.
Lovely.
What the hell is this?
If it's a coin, we melt it down.
Okay, so
That doesn't seem like something we want in our city.
If
Hey,
something
but-
is possessed and you melt it, you release the thing that possesses it, that's probably not.
no, that's why the man wanted to do the thing, was because of whatever is imbued into this coin. Is this part of your magic? And she looks to Elena.
Can I do an occult roll to see if I sense
Intelligence
anything?
occult. Go ahead.
Also disturbed by the fact that this man had 2 apparently
3.
warped objects on him.
As you're looking at it, you don't see anything in it, but you can feel the taint of the abyss in it.
It is of the abyss, too. Snatcher, I think we need to show these to your friend. See if he knows anything.
I'm going to check the alley. Do we have an ethereal guest?
You don't see any. Oddly enough, you haven't seen many ghosts since Zelios put his word up.
Hmm.
I didn't say you haven't seen any. I said you haven't seen many since he put his word up.
Okay. So the ward is doing what it is meant to do.
It doesn't stop them, but it's clear there's difficulties.
We can keep them secure long enough until we can arrange a meeting with your friend.
Please, he seems to be elsewhere.
All right. She looks over to where Augustine went.
Augustine's gone across the street.
Yep.
When you're
And
across the
I
street,
do pick up a lamp.
Miguel went with Augustine.
okay,
Arm's length, just holding it out.
it's lamp. I'm not going to make you roll raw Shrek for a lamp that's burning in the housing.
I've learned my lesson.
I mean, your beast isn't happy, but it's not going to take control. And as you enter the alley, only for a brief second do you catch a shadow moving at the far end. But this time, it shoots skyward. And then give me another
Oh, good. Good.
roll here. Give me another courage check. Difficulty 6, please.
You got it.
Me as well as Emily Augustine.
No,
Oh, good for you.
nothing is standing in your shadow now.
2 successes.
2, that's enough. Once again, you hear a voice in your head. This one is much softer, weaker. Doesn't seem to have the strength of the other one. Why did you interfere?
You were asking why we interfered. To protect the citizens of our town.
They're cattle.
Yes, but these are our cattle, not yours.
Master bids me to tell you. You claim something that another has claimed as well. He
Unless your
asks-
master is more powerful than Radu, you have other priests to go barking. Don't come back into our city.
Master's already here. He asks,
Who is?
are you child of Mankato?
I am.
He will meet you soon.
Good.
And the way he said it, you can hear the underlying threat to it.
So is Augustine speaking out loud like before,
Yes.
so that Miguel can hear?
Yep.
Matt, who's master?
The Shadow's voice speaks of a master that knows my sire. He's coming to see us soon, so we'll be rid of this pest once and for all.
Miguel, you give me a courage roll, difficulty 6.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I don't like how easily this thing can communicate with us.
1.
1. This is very unsettling for you, having not dealt with oblivion, the darkness, or the stuff of the abyss. But the little voice speaks in your head as well. I tell you, this is a message to both of you. Nothing to say yet before I warn you both? Interesting.
Who the fuck? What the?
Yeah, no, this is par for the course, my friend. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Tecma, child of Basilio, will meet you both soon.
Excuse me, his name is Ligma? Did I hear that correctly?
I only hear laughter from Master now.
Why is your master? What's going? Why is your master here? Wait, are these names known to you, Augustine?
No, I don't know these names.
Yeah.
Basilio, I think you might know of.
Do I know Basilio?
Basilio the Elder, Prince of Sophia.
Oh,
Oh, god damn it.
that guy?
La Sombra, who does not like your sire?
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got the information that Basilio was the target for the poison, or was that
the
shared
sword.
by?
It came from his city.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my question was Elena and Peregrines shared that information, right?
Mhm.
So Miguel would know the name Basilio from that.
Yes.
Okay. But wait, Basilio has a city.
Yes, he does. Master bids me to warn you. And this is not personal, it is... I don't understand why he's saying it that way. The sire commands, the child obeys.
He wants to trade cities?
No. This is a favor. And then the creature screeches. Apparently he wasn't supposed to say that.
So Sophia is very far away. That is many nights' travel.
But apparently the prince of the city is here in our city. We must roll out a special presentation for him, Miguel.
We should, yes. We should have. I mean, it's polite to send a messenger so that we are you the messenger? Are you to let us know that we can prepare the welcome? When is he arriving?
And his voice now is ragged with pain. For a creature of shadow that you can both now clearly see, he's sitting in Augustine's shadow, but his arm is touching your shadow. It's a tiny, diminutive, bipedal thing. But its arm's in your shadow, which is why you're suddenly hearing it. The master says, remember, a city is only yours if it is unchallenged. And since I already revealed a favor, he says he will give you information, and I'm going to pay for it later.
We look forward to him gracing us with his presence.
How many nights should we expect his arrival so we can properly prepare to greet a dignitary of this type?
Watch your shoulders. Watch your back. Watch the shadows. He'll come from there. He is assisting with the transition of power.
Good. I am glad that he is here and not in his city should something happen back in Sofia.
And so this little thing, you see it shoot up into the sky as well as it flies away.
Goodbye.
And I'm going to give the players a scene. If you'd like, we can have it back at your castle.
Point of clarification.
Yes.
Did the creature say it is the child of the Prince of Sofia in the city or the prince?
Augustine and Miguel heard it is the entity said the sire or the child does the bidding of the sire.
Yeah, so it's the child.
Or the sire commands, the child obeys.
Because I was getting confused.
And the child is the master it's referring to, not the prince, right? Yeah.
So if you all would like to talk about this privately in your war room, we can cut to that scene.
Sure.
So we can do that before break and do a time skip after break.
And Elena have secured the objects of interest.
Where did you put them, just so I'm aware?
I'm sure we have some kind of vault.
Down in the catacombs, hidden away. Got it.
That is basically protected.
No. I mean, you've got hidden areas, secret areas. You've got places that have no doors that are totally hidden. Yeah, it's a Zelios labyrinth.
I've had my rats disperse. They're back to their regularly scheduled programming. There's always at least one or two in that alley just in case the ghost needs to get a hold of me. But
so Miguel and I had an interesting conversation with a shadow creature that belongs to Basilio. And apparently we should prepare for the arrival of him or his child there because he wants to take over the city. You know. How you
He wants to take over the city? Because I really thought it was a Zamitzi.
I
He
expected
has
it
laid
from the
claim.
Samisi.
He has laid claim to it, from what I understand.
He said
Was
that
I
he's
wrong again?
helping the one who. So you're. Oh, now, to remind you, he
Yep.
said he's helping the one who
Okay.
claims your city.
He is helping the one that wants to retake the city.
Ah, okay. That just saved Sophia.
Did it though?
Yes, it did. Because if Basilo wanted to come here to start some shit, I would torch his city.
It might still be on my list.
We may get there, but I have another deal for Basilo that he might find more appealing.
Leave the interactions of the shadows to the shadows, I think, in this instance.
So it was a creature that Basilo or his chowder had summoned from the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but we know we can fight it with fire if it becomes a problem.
Is it just fire? It seems to enjoy darkness. Would light on its own be enough?
I don't know if, but we can't exactly command daylight, can we?
No.
So,
What a dream.
yes. So fire is the next best thing. Both are incredibly painful to any shadows that we utilize.
True.
And it includes things that we drag out from the abyss.
Also true.
I personally do not buy into that. Some of our clan have been known to dabble with mystical arts of summoning power and entities from the deep abyss.
Craft.
Yes. Of a very dark nature. And it drives them mad. That much pure, concentrated death and entropy is not good for a mind, even an undead one.
No.
To clarify, the dagger was clinging to his body, but it was the coin that was warping his thoughts.
The coin was likely the anchor for the dagger. Neither have returned to the abyss at this point because they are together. If one is destroyed, I imagine the other will be returned. Likely, if the coin gets destroyed, the other will be returned to whence it came.
Do you, amongst you and yours, know any who could consult us on these effects?
I believe it is best because I do not consort with those who dabble in that mess because it drives them mad. I believe in this case it is better to get it from a citizen of that realm.
The items were fashioned in some way. They were created. So
And I don't know if they were created here or there.
Correct. I have someone I can take them to see if she can do something.
All right.
Excellent. Better than what I was going to suggest.
Just ensure their security. We do not want either falling in hands they should not.
Of course. And I will not let them touch them with their bare hands.
Yes.
Storyteller.
Yes.
So Brother Miguel has, on a number of occasions, traveled with Mother Constance to the 10-year meeting of the Cappadocians.
Mm-hmm.
Would he be aware of any in Sophia, specifically Bella Rusenko?
Sure you're aware of them.
And that Bella is a potential rival for the seat of Sophia, should something happen to Priscilla?
I mean, you would know quite a bit about that if they've claimed Cappadocian politics.
That would be good.
But there's been many who have... There are many who have eyes on Basilo wanting his downfall, and none have succeeded yet. I will remind even Peregrine, it was hinted that her clan had somebody close to Basilo. That's how the poison was sent, which means even the Assamites have an agent or an asp at his breast.
I may know a contact in Sophia who will at the very least keep Basilio on his toes so that he does not have time to meddle in our affairs.
On his toes, how?
Well, if his child is coming here, it means he may have less security within his city. He may have a right hand that is not there.
That isn't what
tell
I'm
him-
asking. I'm asking what your friend can do. I understand politics and maneuvering. But what is it your friend can do? Or associate, or whomever it is you know.
He can make a move that will keep Basil occupied so that he cannot act further against us.
Is he a contender for the city?
From what I hear, there are many contenders of the city.
Oh, there are.
But yes.
There's a list.
But
Okay.
yes, he is capable of running the city, and he does have the backing of his clan. I can send a message to him to letting him know that Basil's child is on his way here, and
That is a good
might be
idea.
time to strike.
If we have problems happening in Sophia, I can then offer the perfect solution.
I will make arrangements for Messenger to get the word out.
Excellent.
And
Because my solution is the emperor in Hungary has a daughter that is only 2 years younger than the king's son. Join their households in matrimony.
I will
Creates
leave
an
that
alliance.
leave that maneuvering to you.
Yes. It is, once he has an alliance, we can send word to your associate to bide his time and await opportunity when Basilio is weak. Because one thing, those of you unfamiliar with, and she looks at Augustine with, our clan. Our strength is only what we can hold. If we fail to hold it, we are a failure. And failures are not allowed. So, if Basilio cannot hold his city, that is his failing. He will lose status and likely even his existence, because he will become a target for every member of our clan.
La Sombra are not ones for retribution, then.
No. Not for failures. They aren't worth being La Sombra. Excellence. Only. Idiots do not last long.
I should also say, thank you all for your participation. I'm sure when I see him again, Last will be quite pleased. He will be upset that there was a death, but he's somewhat reasonable in that regard. He'll probably see that it was no other choice.
The man was a madder than many hatters I knew. Did the coin drove him crazy?
We were told to protect the young woman, and we did.
Aye. So instead of 2 deaths, there's only 1.
And then we can show your associate the evidence of why we had to end one life.
That will help.
That he was driven mad and completely murderous by these objects and unstoppable otherwise. We eliminated a threat to many lives.
Peregrine,
Aye.
you said you touched the coin and the thoughts came. Did they disappear as soon as you let go, or did they linger?
Oh, I pushed them out of my head. I am slightly a little bit stronger in will.
Then we make sure that whoever holds it has at least as much strength of self as you.
Or at least I wear something that covers the hand. It's a little bit easier at times.
I didn't even trust my gloves with the blade. I had to wrap it in the cloak. It's thicker.
And never
That's
trust
fair.
humanity when incompetence is a factor.
And even with it wrapped, I could still feel the cold from it. It's
I could
very
see all
potent.
that.
Avoid
All I
direct
saw was
contact.
that black all over the blade.
Mhm.
Never seen anything like it before.
These the shadows that we use.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, mental note, never piss you off.
I'm sure that Miguel has some extra thick gloves that we can use,
Yes. If not, your blacksmith friend may.
of course.
So as the group finishes and discusses strategy for the night, right here, everybody, this is where we're going to go to break. We will see everyone in 10 minutes. Please enjoy. Welcome back, everybody. Before the break, well, they stopped a mugging, but in the process found out one of the other things they're up against, which is, La Sombra wielding abyss mysticism, which is not common in their clan, mainly because if you play with that stuff, it kind of causes big problems for you in the long term. But La Sombra, though they strive for excellence, they'll pay a big price for that excellence sometimes. And as we're picking up in the second half, it's been about a week since these events. Now, I will tell you, the blade went back to normal looking the next day.
But what about the coin?
Well, did anyone touch it?
Not with my bare hand.
If nobody touched it, you don't know.
Elena will have touched it. She's got 8.
You give me a willpower roll against difficulty 9, please.
This is why I don't touch things with my bare hands. I don't have willpower 8.
And sanitization isn't a thing yet, so...
That's 5.
When you touch it, you have the urge to kill, to eviscerate a woman, to carve her up. But with an effort of will, you push that thought out of your mind
And quit touching it.
and quit touching it.
The coin is still active.
Now, in the rest of this week that we've skipped, you've heard nothing about the priest, the Inquisitor. There's been no further antagonizing of people in the religious quarter. There's been no sightings of him. There have been no problems. Everything on that front has gone completely silent. If it wasn't for the fact that you know he was here, you'd have never known he was here at all.
And we've been having our trap built.
Where are you having it built? There's the question.
That's a good question. Anybody got suggestions? Because I don't know.
I'd say if we can try to avoid the incredibly heavily trafficked areas, just in case. But beyond that, I don't have any ideas.
I think it needs to be somewhere where ghosts can drop him off.
His first attack in the city was at the church that is currently being slowly rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
building a trap there with the souls that were in the catacombs underneath, there may be a connection with the spirit world if we are looking for a ghost to drop them off, as Snatcher says.
How
So
How
you're aware,
far-
Snatcher, you have found out from
I
your
said
ghost
that.
friends that there is a line that runs through the city that ghosts have trouble crossing. It's only with great difficulty that they can cross the line. So a lot of ghosts are trapped on the side that they were on when the line came into place.
Oh, it's not putting them to one side. They're just stuck on either side of the
Yes.
line. Okay.
Some
That's
can cross it, but it's very hard for them to do.
like taxing in a way,
Yes.
sort of, to them. Okay.
So you're aware,
definitely
since
tell
ghosts were brought up, that is what
Oh, yeah.
happened with Zelios's ward, apparently.
All right. I definitely share that info with everyone else.
Okay. Storyteller, how far is Miguel's church from the river?
The religious quarter wouldn't be allowed to be on the river because that is where the trade comes in. So
Mhm.
I would put the religious quarter. It's between the merchant section and the docks and trade district, or the docks and where the ships come in.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you're in a decent sized city at this point,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not that close to it.
Okay. If we're going to use the church again, I would think about finding a way to bring the river onto him. We thought about burying him, but what about drowning him?
I know only of the tunnels Zelios has created within this.
It will be difficult because where the river is, the city rises from there. So, while it is not a terrible idea, I don't see how we could implement it without it being obvious. It would require significant routing of water.
Something like a new aqueduct, perhaps.
Perhaps, but that takes a lot of time and it is very obvious.
And would we still be able to set up the collapse once the pit has broken as well?
Well, that is going to be done during construction. I don't believe we need to drown him as much as we need to crush every bone in his body, including his organs. When you have bleeding everywhere, you can't really stop that quick enough.
It's true.
Spikes
There's
in the
not
bottom
a,
of the pit.
Spikes in the pit, and then collapse him onto the spikes. He's destroyed. This works very well, trust me. I didn't even have the spikes so much as I had my people take a boat of people and bury it in a giant trench and bury them alive because the trench was deep enough for the boat to go down and they couldn't climb out.
The spikes is mine because we, in the pits,
Yes.
when you pushed people down, they fell into the spikes. You couldn't heal from those
No.
because they went right through you. You knew that your opponent was dead because a grade of 9x9 spikes kind of does a wee bit of damage to you.
Wee bit.
Sure.
Just a wee
Yes, of
bit,
course.
you know.
So instead of, because we see reconstruction, they have, and the damage that was done, of course, people are not wanting to utilize the catacombs now. We can use that space for the pit trap.
Mhm.
I believe they are discussing constructing a actual above ground site for their interments. So, yes, it is a good idea to utilize the church. That is actually something that I recommended to the engineers to look at to see if it could be done. Because I also saw what you saw, Miguel, that if we're already reconstructing it, it's a good idea to look into because it's already obviously being reconstructed. We're just putting some things in. Yes. Because the way that I looked at, I don't claim to understand all of it, but I could see from the pictures what it's trying to do. Between the actual roof and the interior ceiling is going to be the material that will fall down. The ceiling is basically going to give way and allow it to collapse. Yes. And I don't believe... I've walked a bit in the city and even walked a bit with my associate, the mage, to figure out where these ley lines are in the city. And it does appear that the church is not directly on a line. It is on one side of one. So, I think we can pull it off at the church. Oh no, we'll have to reconstruct it again. Oops, faulty construction.
We'll just be certain to rebuild it better the next time.
Exactly.
Storyteller.
Yes.
In the week's interim that we've had between the mugging and now, was I able to show the dagger and coin to any spirit that would maybe be willing to talk about it?
Did you touch the coin?
Not with my skin.
Okay, I have to
Not
ask.
with my skin.
You know I have to ask because I've made two people roll so far.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Not with my scales.
Sure, you've managed to show it to someone.
Did they have any reaction beyond ew or just ew?
It is not made of what they consider oblivion. It is made from something else. It is made from, how can I put it? They can see its corruption, but it's made from something related but beyond what they exist in.
So a similar but different situation.
Yes.
Okay.
What does
I would have explained that to everyone as well.
What does my associate make of the situation with the dagger and coin?
Your associate couldn't see anything different about him. It is not a. It's not a metallurgical change.
There you go.
It appears to them who couldn't touch it, which is a whole nother discussion, to be a perfectly normal coin.
And there's nothing rumored, given the sensation that both my coterie members felt when they touched it with their bare hands.
The closest your friend could say is a curse has been laid upon it, but it's not a curse that they can feel. So it is definitely not of this world, because unfortunately your contact doesn't have as much knowledge of, well, the Umbra essentially, because when you think about where the abyss that they're talking about would be one of the realms of deep Umbra, technically. A very bad realm, but one of them.
Yeah. I'll pass that along as well then.
So since I've been meaning to have Brother Miguel do this and just haven't had time on screen, meeting with Valentino Demonstrosities.
Yes. Anything in particular you wanted to ask him?
I mean, he came with an offer to help. I want to see what he had, what he knows. What is his offer?
Okay. The gist of it is he knows there's an inquisitor in the city. Another case where you two may differ, especially when it comes to his feeding. He doesn't feel that this benefits anyone having an inquisitor in the city. And he is actually reaching out to some of his contacts and trying to find out where the priest went. He has also not heard or seen anything from him.
And what does he want for this assistance?
Oddly enough, in this case, he doesn't want anything.
Bullshit. He's a venturer. He always wants something.
He claims he wants nothing. How about we put it that way? His claim is allowing an inquisitor to run around prevents him from his preferred feeding. Yes, you prevent him too, but apparently he thinks he can sneak by you with it. Obviously, he has been.
He absolutely does. And I'm just waiting to catch his ass.
He also hinted that he's tasted an inquisitor once before, and it spoils the food. A true faith for the viewers out there. Feeding from someone who has true faith is quite painful for a vampire.
Don't eat them.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, no.
You get aggravated damage from it. Don't eat them.
Do anything else to them you want. Don't eat them.
Yes, you'd be a fool to think he won't ask for something later.
All right. So after the uprising in the that religious uprising, he will, should any of those rabble rousers survived, if they meet his palate, they are of his to enjoy as needed.
Now, I will remind you that Peregrine has ghouled a number of those. Elena took taken one of them. Many of the others were ghouled by Peregrine for eyes and ears and to assist with their healing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still make that offer to him.
The ones that are unclaimed.
Those who got minor wounds and didn't need attention? Okay.
Right, yes. Those who are unclaimed and not currently being watched are fair game for him. He's not going to be specific as to which ones it is. He's just going to say unclaimed, and if he crosses the line, then he's going to have to deal with those he crossed.
Hey, if he's a venture, he should be able to recognize the domain of another. If he fucks up, that's on him.
Yeah, he should, but then Miguel is fairly certain that he has not been recognizing the domain of Miguel. He just can't prove it.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Ventru have a feeding preference, and it's already obvious his feeding preference involves religious individuals. So if he's getting food in the city and there is a ban on feeding from the religious quarter, he's eating somebody.
People have to leave the religious quarter. They don't all live there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know Elena wants to speak with Glenn, or Gwen, sorry. Hey, at least I didn't change scenes again.
Yes, I'm now Glenn. Hi, everyone.
Small victories.
Small victories. Gwen, do you have a moment? Did we freeze? Or she freeze?
She froze.
Oh,
See, I
potato
call her
too?
Glenn and all hell breaks loose. So while we're waiting for her to
We'll go to
unfreeze,
somebody else.
Snatcher, you wanted to speak with Miguel, so go ahead.
Yes. Probably just meeting in some quieter part of the city. Nothing needs to be too, hush about it. I was wondering if you could introduce me to someone.
I can introduce you to many people. Who would you like to be introduced to?
Mother Constance.
That would take some arranging.
I am willing to be patient.
I will reach out. Mother Constance only is quite particular about who she allows to travel to her. Her traveling to you or finding a place somewhere in between may be a bit more reasonable.
I am willing to be flexible. And truly, I don't know how she will respond to the offer or the exchange I have in mind, or if she's even the one that can provide the end that I desire. But she is a connection to a clan I do not speak with, have not spoken to. I just do not run in the same circles.
You just want a contact with the clan, or do you want her specifically?
I assumed she would be the easiest for you to reach out to. If you have someone else, I'm willing to speak to any who would be willing to have an exchange.
Once Marcus Giovanni returns from Sofia, I can make the introduction to him.
Whatever you feel is easier.
We'll make that introduction, and if that is not sufficient for your liking, I will be in contact with Mother Constance.
Fantastic, and thank you for your assistance. I believe that's that scene done, storyteller.
Okay, so now we'll go back. Now that Gwen is unfrozen, she froze because I called her Glenn. She just pieced out for a second there. I will turn it over to Peregrine and Elena.
Gwen, I have been speaking with the priest I took off your hands and discussing with him some ideas that can benefit his congregation.
Hey.
And I have one that I think you and I should work on together.
Okay.
A widow's home.
The widow and orphan? Or are we just separating the two?
No, the widows, if they have children as well.
Okay.
For those who do not have any means once their husbands die.
Aye, this place is laden with patriarchy. Quite a bit.
Yes. It's a place where they can get education, skills. For those women who do not wish to ply their flesh as trade, they can learn other skills to provide for their families.
I can set that up. It wouldn't be much
I'm
of a problem.
happy to invest anything that's needed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can, actually.
And it can be, it can even be the elder, the matrons as well, the matron widows, the older ones. Having multi-generational in it will be beneficial to them.
Actually, here's a good idea for you. I could take the matron widows, the ones that are the older ones, and they can actually start teaching some of the stuff that's already going in the trade schools, give them a little bit of a wage.
Yes. And the mothers in it,
Trickle-down
and
effect.
it keeps the children off the streets from becoming urchins and beggars.
Ah, Snatch, you'll be so disappointed.
Unfortunately, but it's not like we have a shortage of those.
This is true.
So it gives them opportunity.
Oh, I agree with you on this.
Because it seems like there were men that died during that riot.
Aye.
And we women are the only ones cleaning up the mess.
You know, I noticed that. Noticed that I was the one cleaning up the mess and taking care of both sex at the same time.
Yeah. So if we're going to do it, we should do it right.
Oh, well, of course, naturally. If you're not going to do it right, we'll do it all.
Exactly.
Put both feet into it. Jump in. Why not? Water's fine.
And the priest thought it was a very good idea to have a home for widows and their children.
That's fair. A little bit more of a grander home. Not like really grand, but, having a lot of rooms in it.
Rooms in it, yes.
Aye.
That's why I say I will invest in whatever is needed. I have the resources available.
Okay.
And I can help
we can-
broker some better deals so that none of them are being taken advantage of.
Agreed. Do you want me to offer it to some of the ladies of the night that maybe have been widowed? and found that
Absolutely.
is
If
the
they
only
have been
place?
forced into it and do not wish to do it, it gives them an option.
That's fair. I'm going to be taking a little bit off their hands, but
And I will
You know.
ensure that the priest does visitation with the women and children, and that he also ensures that they are taught the love and peace of Christianity, and to not judge the whores.
I did have some of the pagans clean up the religious sect, so I would make sure that they're a little bit lenient and tolerant of us too.
Absolutely,
that
he is going to be
helped up.
doing that because he is taking very well to conditioning.
Oh, good. Has he been helping with the criers? I've been seeing the criers are doing a really good job.
Oh yes, he's been giving them
Really
good
pats around.
information. And
Perfect.
he is more than willing, once we get the church finished, to make sure that certain community news is shared during
Good.
session.
That will give us a bit of an ease up on it. As I mentioned, if we can actually pass along a little bit more information, I think that'll be good. Seeing all them work together, regardless of whatever they believe in, makes everything a lot easier.
Exactly.
Gives them a bit of tolerance too.
Exactly.
Excellent. Good.
As I say, if it's going to be left on us to clean up the mess, we're going to do it right.
Gonna have to. I want to make sure that this is something that's going to steadfast for maybe a couple more years than, many of them are willing. Make it generational.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because they need it.
they need it. It is oftentimes the widows and children who get forgotten.
I've seen it enough times. I agree with
Exactly.
you.
So let us take care of them so that they can take care of themselves.
Okay. I will set it up tomorrow, and I'll make sure that the orphans and as many of the little whippersnappers and scamps that we can find on the roads can get cycled into it as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. On the orphan side, if they don't have any parents, we may need to make sure that the orphanages are up to snuff.
Oh, I'll take care of that all tomorrow night then.
Okay.
Because I'll make sure that the widow's home is good.
the widow's home is more for widows and any children of theirs.
Aye. And then,
If the orphans are adopted by a widow, sure, bring them to the widow's home if need be. Or if you're making enough money that you can afford your own place, then move out of the widow's home and get your own place.
actually, and also I think we could do a rent-a-grandma.
I'll rent a grandma.
The little orphans can be like, hey, I want to learn stuff from this one.
Yes.
And make all of the, information and education secular.
Yeah.
And if the kids are old enough, go ahead.
That's a good idea.
Make the kids learn from the grandmas, because why not?
Yes.
And that gives them a sense of home and a sense of family, that the grandmas have a bit more of purpose.
Yes.
And they're not too old to say, oh, I'm going to lay down and die. Give them a bit more hope and a bit more sense of family.
Some of the matrons aren't even that old.
I know, but the mind does weird things.
I think it is a good plan.
Education of this.
I think it is a good plan.
And then, depending on what the boys want or the kids want to do, we can actually get them into Augustine's guard program if they're more inclined.
Absolutely, or set them up with apprenticeships and with the merchants. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the tradespeople.
We'll have a whole bunch of scamps just trying to fill up all the jobs we can now.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us solving problems.
They should make us run the world, I think things would go a lot smoother.
Now we just will start implementing and then see who tries to throw obstacles in our way.
I mean, they'll just find out what happens when you come a little closer to me and I have 2 pointing knives. It's okay.
Or when I have a burning oil lamp.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one.
There was a thing of shadow lurking in shadows. I know what my shadows respond to, so I threw what mine respond to at it, figuring it would respond to it, and it did. It ran off.
I don't know how you do the shadowy stuff, but I found it immensely fun. I was like, oh, well, look, it's now you all can make little shadow men.
When I am not good, I am tyrannical, I am ruthless, I am brutal.
La sombra.
Exactly. But I am never boring.
In all the years that I've known you, I cannot say you were ever born as a ghoul or now. The whole burning thing always makes me go, I want to get marshmallows.
I know, but they don't taste as good.
Tell me about it.
Well, thank you for meeting with me. It sounds like we have some work to do over the next few nights.
I'll start implementing it tonight and then
I
tomorrow.
will start getting people to look into locations where we can house these people.
Sounds perfect.
Good.
Augustine, as you're wandering the halls one night, down still in your hidden area, Mario approaches you. Father, I bring word from the blacksmith. She must see you immediately.
Oh, are you okay? Is she okay?
Yes, it's quite urgent.
Lead the way, Mario, please.
And he goes with you. He doesn't call you father often, only when he's disturbed by something, because that's not a secret well known.
Nope.
Viewers, you just got shown something. When you arrive at the blacksmith, it's night. The blacksmith is normally closed. Though the fire, for some reason, always stays lit, even if the coals are damped. And as you step in tonight, the coals are damped, and the smith is waiting. Female blacksmith, which is probably what drew attention to her in the first place from you, and then finding out what she did. Augustine, I'm sorry for disturbing you this late, but...
No, please, Yana. You know that I try to make myself available to you whenever you need me.
You talked about dealing with something of the shadow.
Yes.
I had an idea. Something came to me. And she reaches down into a box and pulls out, it's a blade, about 2 foot in length. I would like you to use this the next time you face a shadow. Tell me what it does. The blade is it's a silvery metal. but it doesn't shine quite like steel should. It doesn't have the same look. I made this with the normal mix of steel, but I added star iron to it.
You have star iron.
A little.
Oh, well, let us test it right now then. And I will summon an arm, and I will summon some of the shadow creatures from my level 4 ability.
And she steps back when you do that. You've never flexed that power in front of her.
I have not.
And after the initial
hungrier.
stepping back, you can see the burning curiosity as if she's studying everything you're doing.
Yeah, and I apologize. I thought that I would have told you what I can do. I did not mean to unsettle you.
Oh, you
I know
told me. I haven't seen it.
that. And I'll stab one of my tentacles.
And as you're holding the weapon, it's uncomfortable in your hand for some reason. It doesn't burn you, but it's unpleasant to wield. But when you stab one of the tentacles, it cuts through it and severs the tentacle. It
That's
actually
new.
affects it, which blades don't do that. That's interesting. Hand the blade back a minute. Let me look at it.
Yeah, gladly. It feels uncomfortable to me.
It may be the star iron. It's hard to say.
I look down at my hand. Is it marked in any way?
It's slightly, I can't say reddish. You don't get reddish because you're kindred. You don't have blood. But you can see it's different looking. And she starts to study it. As I thought, some of the star iron is gone, but it should work for a few times.
Well, Yana, I don't pretend to understand your gift. What do you mean some of the star iron is gone? It can't just evaporate from the blade, can it?
No, but it's hard to explain. What it does is it's pulling that into itself and moving it. It's really hard to explain it to you. The best way to describe it is it burns off a bit of itself to trap the pocket of shadow in itself. It will have limited uses.
Of course.
Star iron's hard to get. It's not easy working, but that should help you at least a few times. You do have to tell me how it works on something more animated and bigger.
Of course. My first question to you, Yana, is if it does this to shadows, what will it do to someone like me who calls upon them?
I wouldn't. You said it was uncomfortable to wield? It's probably interacting with you. I would let someone else use it. Till I've had time to study it, or we've done extensive tests, I don't know what it would do with if you kept using the powers around it. But you said you have friends.
Yes, I have someone in mind already that can probably use this to its fullest potential.
Like I said, it's an experiment. Star iron's hard to get, and I don't have much. But it's about knowledge, right?
And if you need more, I will make it my priority to get you more.
I would appreciate that. It's hard to come by.
Excellent. I have a task then at hand. Thank you, Yana. This is not something I was expecting.
Well, when you came and told me about the coin and where it came from and made my mind think about that, Star iron. I mean, it lit up the sky, right? Maybe it would have been good against shadows, almost like it was inspiration. Well, I'm sorry for making it such a rush thing. I just was worried.
No, please. I am, with my kind, it is rare that you ever hear that you are an inspiration for someone. So the blessing that you have given me this night, I repay you tenfold. Thank you, Yana, for this.
Just make sure you tell me about it so that I can make notes.
You'll be the first.
This is the first attempt. In time, maybe I can refine it, possibly make it last longer, find other ways to make it retain its properties.
I have full faith in you, Yana. Trust me.
Yeah. Walk in knowledge.
As always. And I will go find whoever I can find, particularly Gwen, but otherwise I will settle for Snatcher.
Yeah, you tell me who you find first. I'm fine with you picking.
All right. I think I'll come across Snatcher first.
Go ahead.
Why are you climbing out of that window, Snatcher?
It was on the list.
Okay. I didn't know that you created lists for yourself.
Sometimes it is not my list, but a list that still needs to be completed.
You said you had a friend?
I have a few, yes, and
Excellent.
one.
Before we go, can I try something on you?
Is it detrimental?
Not at all. It shouldn't be. Come over here, and I'm going to lead him to an alley and a corner.
The last time we were in one of these, we got in a fight.
Oh, yeah. No. I don't expect anything to happen.
I'll wait patiently for whatever he's about to do to me, I guess.
And I'm just going to point to the corner and just be like, hey, why don't you do me a favor and pull on the shadows like you do and hide yourself there, and I'm going to poke you with my new sword.
Storyteller, intrinsically, we have at least a basic understanding of how our disciplines function, right?
Yes.
Like, it's not, I just do it and a mystery thing happens.
No.
Like, we know the mechanics of it.
You know
Magic.
that what you're doing is not actually invisibility. It's your supernatural will making people not realize they see you.
It's a forget-me field more
Yes.
than it's like actually hiding. Then
I'm not here, ignore this field.
Yes, then I will explain that that's how that works.
All right, yes. But for me, it always feels like you are touching on some of the abyss when you do it. So I just want
In
to
that corner,
experiment. Yeah, in the corner right there. And I point the sword at him.
Storyteller, just to add full effect, I am not just going to hide. I'm going to vanish from mine's eyes so he sees me disappear.
Okay.
Oh, you fancy as fuck.
One minute there's a snatcher, and then there's not.
Would you like me to roll for that? Because it does normally require one.
You can roll for it just to be fair.
Him.
But,
don't botch this.
Yeah,
I don't want you to end up. I don't
Nope,
want you to end up
it
in the
is
shadow. Umbra.
Intelligence stealth.
Yep, and you can roll wits alertness there, Augustine.
Sure. Why not?
Does my stealth specialty apply? No, in the fuck it does not. Okay.
No successes. Because ones are garbage.
That would be 4 successes.
Okay, yeah, he just goes, oof. And it's not even like, it's just 1 minute he's there, and then the next minute there's nothing.
Oh, that is impressive. I will hand that to you, and then I just reach out with the sword to where he was, not in like a killing motion, but I definitely want to go out until I find resistance and then push.
Okay. Now, as always, when you find resistance, your mind realizes there's somebody there. So the moment you get resistance, you see him. The blade is uncomfortable. Again.
Yeah.
For you, Snatcher, just looks like he pulls about a 2-foot blade out
He's just poking me in the shoulder
and
or
pokes you
something.
with it. Yeah.
Did you feel anything strange?
A blade touching me.
Yeah, no. Medicinally, I didn't mean the mundane.
Oh, nothing beyond what is obvious.
Oh, so it's just me, and this is gonna go back in his sheath. Okay, let us go to your friend.
Yeah, and
I
as long
appreciate-
as you're not touching it, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. I'll let you hold it for a little bit. Hey, does this feel uncomfortable in your hand?
No.
It feels like a blade.
It's the weighting is good on it. It's nice and balanced. You do notice that the blade doesn't shine like most would.
Here's something, storyteller. Can I try and appraise it?
Go ahead.
I am a thief. Like,
Go ahead.
on.
Let me
me see what I can figure out here.
Let's get an appraisal on this thing. Let's find out.
And
What's this worth on the black market?
I also know. I also
Nosferatu.
say that because I have my wit specialty of valued targets. I don't know if that would count.
Yeah. Is it worth stealing? Yeah.
All right, cool. Wits, and what would be the other?
I'm looking through. Ledger domain.
Ledger domain.
Yeah.
Would you also? Actually, I'll do ledger domain instead because that gives me a much higher pool.
Yeah. Ledger domain's about stealing, right? So that's the valuation.
All right, with a pool of 8 dice, let's see just how badly the game screws me.
Difficulty 6. Let's see what he gets here.
Fuck me, that is rough. 1 success.
One
and
success.
Yes, that is after a bunch of ones, unfortunately.
Looking at it and holding it, you're not positive whether it doesn't look like normal steel, so you're not sure how well it would hold an edge. I mean, it feels hard, but even soft steel feels hard until you've tried to use it on something. You're not sure it's worth all that much. With only 1 success, I mean, Curiosity, because it doesn't shine. You know a couple thieves that might like it just because it doesn't glint torchlight off it like a normal blade.
But just from the cursory look over, I can't tell if it's something that can be fenced for a decent amount or
No.
anything like that. Okay.
No, not with 1 success.
I will flip the blade and hand it back to Augustine then.
Yeah, I just had the sheath out to you.
That too. Either way.
Yeah.
You can tell Augustine don't like handling it.
I don't. Well, okay. Well, I wanted to know if it felt strange in your hand.
It felt as any knife I've held. It is decently made.
I didn't know that you held a lot of knives, Snatcher.
He will gesture to his hip where there is a knife at it.
Oh, you have a knife.
I was not a good hunter, but I was a hunter.
Hey, you learn something new about your friends every day.
I'm better with a bow.
Noted.
Are you ready to go make a new friend?
Let's go.
Storyteller.
Does it involve climbing into a window?
No, you can very much enter through a regular doorway in this
Perfect.
case. I'm going to go and take him to visit my dear friend Irene.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I will warn him on the walk. She's a Malkavian who knows things without seeing what will be.
Oh.
I do not know how she does it, but she has a decent understanding of what's going on in the city. She always describes it as saying through her clan. I do not know what that means.
So
we're going to find out.
And it's odd. The reason you're going through a window, she's asked certain actions to be performed before you go see her. And it's the weirdest things. You have to climb through a window. You have to walk a number of stones without stepping on the cracks. It's like an odd list of things you shouldn't do.
I'm still willing to placate her because she's a good source of information.
But her actual place of her business, Where is her place? Where does she reside? We'll put it that way. I'll let you.
Oh, it is without a doubt in the Merchant's Quarter. Like, without a doubt, she lives right there. As central to that area as she can be, I'm sure.
And places are closed after dark. But at night, she always has a lamp lit, and the door's unlocked. Only once has someone tried to break into the place, and it didn't end well for the poor fools that did that. They killed each other while she watched.
Yep.
Demontation's a bitch, everybody.
Even though it's unlocked, I still knock out of politeness and courtesy, and then we enter.
Snatcher.
Irene.
Who is your friend? Wait. No, nothing. Who's your friend?
I'll bow. Senora.
Augustine de la Cruz.
Yeah, I expected you to come by. I didn't know you were bringing a friend.
I hope that's all right.
Yes.
I can wait outside if this is supposed to
No,
matter.
it's fine. I'm just curious why.
I feel it is good for my associates to know my associates. Especially in your case.
I knew you would come by. The night has been whispering to me again.
What is it saying?
It said, I catch fragments. A missive sent. To one who needs to know the message.
Hmm.
I don't get full details. It's bits of conversation, bits of thought. It's an odd thing.
It's worth keeping in mind all the same.
Yes. But I know it's important.
You and yours haven't happened to have seen an Inquisitor at any point? Beyond his initial entry into the city, of course.
I have not, no. The voices of the night. Nothing with the word Inquisitor that I know of.
The bishop, perhaps, would be a better word.
It's a tough word. Could that also be Monsignor?
Oh, but bishop is a tough word. Okay. Let's see where this is going.
Just to clarify, did she say did she say Monsignor or did she say one's senior?
Monsignor.
Monsignor, okay. Is Monsignor a person by chance?
Title, I thought.
It seems a title that is full of itself.
That's the only thing I've caught. Monsignor bathed in fire.
That would confirm it.
I don't think he's left.
You will most likely not receive information of any travel that he does, but he may arrive sporadically. If you could maybe keep aware.
I don't control what the voices tell me. Sometimes they speak, sometimes they don't. Normally, what I'm hearing is the voice is speaking to another, and I just kind of listen in.
Well, as usual, whatever tidbits you would need. And in exchange, as always, I am more than willing to take what you find to be desirable.
I'll let you know.
Is there any other bits of information you'd be willing to share?
That's all I have tonight. It's... the voices have been quieter of late.
Do you know if there's a reason, or simply the ebb and flow of it?
I think not as many speakers in the city at the moment.
Senora Irene, I don't mean to overstep the boundaries that you have worked out with Snatcher here, but have you ever heard the name Havnor or Solat?
I haven't heard those names.
Hmm.
It's a lot. Wasn't he an old one?
Yeah, perhaps. These are names that have been rattling around.
I'm relatively young. I don't know the old ones. I only know that I didn't hear the whispering until I received the kiss. And at the time, there was a lot of whispers. That's why I moved here. There's less of them. It can be hard to think some nights when all you hear is constant whispering, like a room full of people muttering to each other.
It's also probably easier to differentiate if there's less.
And that too. This city normally has 5 or 6 voices. I only hear 2 now.
When did it change?
A few weeks ago. I didn't notice it first. Like I said, they come and go, and then probably about the time of the supposed red-robed man coming through. Between you and I think they fled.
Probably safer.
I know. If I were smart, I'd have run too.
Well, I suppose in this instance I am grateful for maybe not lack of intelligence, but more your risk-taking behavior is beneficial.
It's not about that. It's when I go to the places between the cities, it's too quiet. Sure, I don't like a lot of noises, but when you hear none, I'm left with only my own thoughts. It's too quiet.
You're seeking a balance.
Yes, not too much noise, but I don't even remember what it was like to have a silence in my head.
Thank you for this information, Irene.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, I always like to share.
And I'll actually go in to take her hand.
And her hands are cold as always. She looks slightly uncomfortable with you holding her hand, like she's not used to people actually touching her.
It's short, but still an exchange. And I would also like to give a quick whisper into her ear.
Okay.
As I said when we met, youth is only a matter of time. You may be young, but you're not that much younger.
But if you listen It's the voices. Time may be short for many of our kind. The voices say, a wall of fire is coming. Not now, but in years. It will sweep our kind, and we will be changed.
Then let us endeavor to make sure that we are among those that survive.
I hope the voices are wrong.
Have a good rest of your evening, Irene.
And she steps back. You as well, Snatcher.
How would you like us to leave?
You must go and pick up the lamp, move it to that table, and then you can exit the door.
I just exit the door.
I do exactly as she says, and then exit the door.
Augustine just exits the door. You can hear her make a clicking noise with her tongue as you leave. And that's it. That's the only response she gets.
What are you getting from me, boy?
And then I'll just walk back to where we would have gone anyways with Augustine.
Okay, so as you're going out, Elena, you have received a message.
Yes.
What are you doing with the message? Are you waiting to gather everybody, or are you...
Upon receipt of this message, I had utilized my Koldunic sorcery to see if there was anything around.
And
found nothing.
Nothing out of the ordinary. It was an average night.
And then I took a closer look at the message itself and applied my knowledge of occult and cunning ways with signs and symbols to the words in the missive.
And the missive comes from your Cirrus in the city.
And I realized that it is a foretelling of things to come.
A true foretelling, too.
Yes. I will ensure I am not alone as I await meeting with my fellow companions.
Okay. Sherazina's there with you. And you also have, I assume, your other two guards?
Yes.
Which I have to pull them up to remember their names.
I don't remember their names off the top of my head either.
Yeah, I know.
But
It's
I'm
tough.
somber. It's not like they're really that important.
Bill and Ted.
God damn.
Bodehan and Matthias.
Yeah.
Yep, Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Damn.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Guard 1 and guard 2.
Pretty much.
At least they're not named Nicholas.
You there.
Yeah, at least they're not Nicholas.
Do your job, okay? And you live another night.
So, let's see. Augustine and Snatcher were off. Peregrine, you were still in the fortress area. So you come by, you wandering other places, notice that Elena's with Sherazina, Bodan, and Matthias. They're normally not with her down here in the... She's not normally rolling deep. I'll put it that way.
She's rolling deep now.
Having a party without inviting us?
No, and she is obviously a bit... She's not letting her composure fall, but you can tell she is obviously concerned. It appears that I can expect some night soon to be caught in a trap, not of my making. I received word from my CRS.
Okay. What kind of trap did they say? Besides one that's none of you are making. Because
And she reads the missive. Eyes in the shadows, watches the blood of the blood. Unguarded and ambushed. The trap is sprung.
Okay, so you need to be guarded. Or at least surrounded by people.
Thus, the party.
I mean...
Because I don't know when it will happen. I just know it will happen.
Feels like put a damper on what you're going to be doing next Tuesday.
So, I will tell the others as I see them, but don't allow this to interfere with whatever you need to do.
Oh, no. I can do most things by your side anyhow. It's called writing. I do a lot of it.
I appreciate you, Grant.
I can do some writing, and I have a couple of goals. I could just write some ideas down and pass them along, and they'll implement them. It's good teaching people how to read and do numbers.
But I am concerned that this foretelling, it might be for me, but it might be for someone that I consider close.
How close?
That is why, and she points to Sherozina, I have her with me.
That's fair. I mean, she's like your daughter.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
You know what I mean.
Sure, Zena actually looks affronted that you would compare her to as a daughter to a kindred.
Yeah.
She's still a ghoul. That's as a revenant.
Not until I embrace her, at least. But...
Okay, it's different from us Irish. I'll explain later.
It could be Augustine. I consider him almost like a younger brother. It could be Lucinda because she is baby sister. I don't care if it's Mancado. I don't give a shit for my father.
Oh, no, I wasn't even thinking about your sister. I mean, you guys have how do you say it? A unique way of being siblings.
Well, it is exceptionally competitive.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're all alive. Good job.
Yeah. So, needless to say, I am going to be watching as much as I can each night to see what I can find lurking in shadows.
What if it's a shadow coming here that pretended to be a friend?
Don't know. Won't know until it confronts me. But I will not exist in fear. While I have concern, I will not fear.
You haven't lived in fear since you were a human.
Have no time for that.
I know. Well, I mean, technically we have forever and a day, but still.
But have no time for that. There's too much to be done.
I know. Do you want me to be with you? On and off.
As you wish and can.
You may or may not see me. How about that?
Perfect.
Okay. I get to sneak around a bit more now.
Yes, you do.
Works for me, all right. Well, if you see a quill lifting up for no apparent reason, it's probably me.
Okay.
Just,
All right.
See if your guards are awake and alert. Not you boys, but you know what I mean.
I think Augustine and I would probably arrive on that line.
She hands the missive to Augustine.
I'll just peer over his shoulder.
I received that this evening.
This is ominous.
Indeed.
I'll hand the short sword over to Gwen. I received this evening. We're all getting gifts.
Yes, mine is foretelling possibly a trap for me or someone I care about. Or am attached to, I should say. Care is an awful heavy word.
Augustine and I went to visit an acquaintance of mine that I met when we first got to the city. She is a Malkavian who seems to have extensive knowledge of the city and those of her clan within it. There's been something of an exodus of Clan Malkavian from the city.
How long?
Augustine?
From what I gather, around the time that the bishop has made his presence known to us, around the time that Anatole and Lucita were in the city.
So help me. I am going to throttle our little sister.
You might enjoy that.
I'm certain I will.
As long as I can watch.
I'm also keeping an eye out for when Miguel's showing up so that we can fill him in quickly as he arrives.
So what's with the sword? And normally you don't throw me swords.
Well, I can't use it, but I know that if there's anyone else that I trust with the blade, it is you. This was
I
given to me by
appreciate
my blacksmith friend, my associate. It is made to cut shadows.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. Say again. I think I have a little bit of Carthage still left in my ear. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. You said what now?
It cuts shadows, the ones that Damalena and I can conjure, the ones that those creatures can hide in. It cuts through that. It has a limited capability with it. Some of it was used up already. But,
Well, I'm sure you had to test it.
I mean, it wasn't tested on Snatcher. It was tested before. Snatcher
I
was
didn't
just
see.
a test to help narrow down.
And as far as we could determine through me, according to my existence, it is an ordinary blade.
Yes.
What do you want for it?
Nothing. I want you to use it correctly.
Well, let me guess. Do I put the pointy bits in the other person?
Obviously, yes.
Okay, well.
If you have any connections to Star Metal, I would prefer if it goes through me, so that I may repay her for her gift.
I can start sending trade people out if you want.
I
have no
might also
problem with
be able
that.
to help you acquire some.
Excellent.
Okay.
Some will go missing.
This is really beautiful. She really does well with her craft.
She is stunning. But to me, at least, it felt uncomfortable. I don't know if you would like to hold it, Damalena, and test the theory. But something in the metal reacts with our kind.
She, while Gwen is holding the sheath, I pull out the sword.
Okay, I'm checking here. How much?
I have 1 dot in melee.
No, I'm checking how much obteneration you have.
Obteneration, I only have,
Have
like
one
one
dot.
level.
You barely notice that you're holding it. There's something, but not much.
I feel something, but not much. But you know I don't really play with shadows excessively.
No.
I don't find I need to. And she puts it back in the sheath.
What is this about Star Metal? Miguel says as he walks in.
We are going to be acquiring some because it might be able to recreate that, and I'll point to the sword.
A blade made for cutting shadows.
Star Metal as in metal falling from the heavens to the earth.
Mm-hmm. The very same.
Never heard of it actually being a thing. I always thought that was a rumor.
Well, I can tell you that from what my blacksmith said, that the more we use it to destroy shadows, the more it will get eaten up in the blade. So be judicious.
Oh, so it's a temporary aid.
But
I'll pull it out.
from what we learned, the more proficient you are in our skill, the more it hurts. So
If I had much skill at all, I could probably wield it with minimal discomfort.
you have skill plenty.
I never had to do much fighting myself. I could just order people to do it.
Oh, and Miguel, Clan Malkavian has been reduced to a small minority within the city as the rest have left.
How many were there to begin with when we arrived?
I did not know of any specific number, but now I believe it totals in 3. My contact, I'm assuming Elena's contact, and one other.
Oh, a renegade Malkavian running amok.
Or
Beatrice, I've met her. She's not a conversationalist.
But that is good to know that all the ones that are known are accounted for.
And I got a missive from my Malkavian associate that either myself or someone close to me may be under threat of a trap being sprung on them, that something is watching from shadows.
I hand the note to Miguel. It's right there in print.
Have we heard of any arrival of Basoli's child?
Of course not. Because everyone thinks they can just prance right into our fucking city and not announce themselves.
There's no decorum left in the world.
We need someone that is able to sense at the gates. This must be put to a stop. We are currently under threat of a fucking Zamitzi calling in allies. We have a bishop that is wanting to destroy us all. We need someone with the ability to see supernatural things on watch.
Peregrine,
I
I don't suppose that particular talent has developed amongst any that you are currently caring for?
Oh, I'm sure I could teach somebody very quickly. It's not no more than, a little level 2. It's fine.
I'm
could
certain
teach that.
Augustine could get them some positions as guards.
Of course.
And certainly, they should be advised to present themselves to us, and if they choose not to, we must make an example of them.
Hey, I can do that.
For a moment, I thought that you were going to volunteer Gwen for the task, Snatcher.
I have no say in what she does. I simply was checking. You know, the Nosferatu has to rip the Toreador every once
I
in
am
a
not
while.
saying that was a surprising move. I'm just saying that it surprised me being one of your moves.
I find being told what to do without having asked for it rather upsetting, so I wouldn't want to do it to others.
It is rude.
Either way, I could teach somebody. It's not a problem. And then if you want to chuck them up as... Actually, don't you have somebody at the gate that does the levy taxes and everything?
I have guards that are stationed at the gates, but the tasks have been laid down by you and Elena.
No, but you know what? I know somebody just for the job. No problem. They get to collect the taxes and then tell your guards, yeah, they're good, and no, they're not.
Do we believe that the missive from your seer, Elena, could be in reference to one of us?
Based on your successes, yes, it could be.
It could be. I recommend none of us travels alone.
I can have one of my ghouls with me.
I shall have
Nay.
full retinue whenever I go anywhere.
I'll bring a ghoul or 2.
I mean, you have 5 extra now.
Oh, they're criers. I have specific jobs for them. I do not want a crier to be in the middle of something that would be in a fight. I've got 2 guards. I'll bring them.
Okay.
Do you have anyone besides your sister, Miguel? I know you do not wish to bring her into anything that might be considered harm's way.
Johan is currently traveling with Marcus.
We are also assuming that this is something that is going to happen instead of something that has happened.
It is a future event. It is a foretelling. A true
This-
foretelling.
It could just be Basilio's child.
It could be. And well, if it is, and if Vasilios' child chooses me, or you, or any one of us, he will fall.
Oh,
I got the red two sword. I'd love to throw it through and make a test out of it. If he shows up, why not?
Agreed.
do you have any idea of how old Basilio is?
Too old.
Storyteller, this is before the time where Canaanites / kindred were starting to categorize the generations. It's just you're an elder or you're not.
You know,
Or do they still say like ancilla, neonate, etc.?
no, they don't. I mean, those terms are used. They are archaic because the Camarilla formalizes them once again. They love to bring all the old shit back into use. But generally, you're either an elder or not, is the general view.
And we all are square in the not category.
No, actually, by generation, you are all elders.
Wow, even after only 50 years. That's
But
amazing.
by age, some would consider you not an elder, but by right of power, which Cain measures everything in generations still, you are elders.
Yeah. I think it's fledgling, fuckface, and elder.
And
That's pretty close.
We were fuck faces when we were building a
Elena
fortress.
just literally kind of does this wicked little half grin. He is younger than I.
If he's younger than you.
What was the name that the shadow thing gave us for that individual?
You were told Tecmu.
Ligma.
Spelling storyteller?
TECMU.
Literally as it's spelled, okay.
Mhm.
I'm not exactly one to ask this. Peregrine, do you happen to know if there is any specific culture that is tied to that name?
Ooh, that's a
Storyteller.
good one.
Roll me an occult.
Int and a cult.
Mhm.
We're going to surge this. If I could actually get the dice out of my thing, that'd be great.
Because as a
Yeah.
player, Tecmu doesn't exactly sound European.
No.
Mm-mm.
Or Slovakian or any of that.
Yeah,
Hungarian.
or any
anything
area
near
that we
us.
are in.
Yeah.
So
What,
just how far did this guy come from?
Would
Potentially.
Miguel, having been traveled all across Europe, be able to make a roll on that as well?
Sure.
Is Tecmo related to Tecmo? Because I know that they're going to make some good games in the future.
Tecmu is the progenitor of Tech 9, so we want to kill him so we can get some
Yeah.
decent rap music in the modern
Yeah.
day.
That's a 7.
The tech line goes deep.
That her 7 is more than my 2.
Okay. You've never heard that name before? Matter of fact, it doesn't even sound remotely like any culture you've heard of. It's quite possible that is not a native name at all.
In the 500 years I've been alive, I haven't heard that name at all.
No.
That's some.
Yeah.
That in itself should
That's-
tell you something.
Welcome to a shanky
That's-
game.
That's fucked
Oh,
up.
yeah, no. I got
Get all
that.
the successes in the world. Nope, you don't know shit.
Actually,
I don't know. Learning
sometimes
doesn't
no
count.
answer tells you more than an answer.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, no. I get you.
it's a false name.
She'll just kind of think for a moment and go, I've been alive for what now? 600 years? Give or take. I never heard that name before in my life. No culture, no language, nothing. And I'm quite good at a lot of languages too. I met a lot of people. Name has never rung a bell. Not from anything I've ever seen or heard.
It is a false name.
Aye.
Maybe one night we can get the real one.
Elena Augustine, he seemed to know a lot about his clanmates' children. Does that familiarity run within La Sombra?
What familiarity?
When it comes to what exactly?
He seems to know that the children of who the children of Mankata are.
Oh, of course. Sires get with other sires and they compare their children together and talk about who does what best and, you know, bragging parents, as it were.
As much as we have an understanding with Ambrosio, it is not far to imagine that out of the three of the children that he has right now, the two of us seem to be doing the best. It would stand to reason that he has impetus to brag.
To boast. We are doing more than he is even doing. We are ruling a city.
Lucita is a vagabond on the streets, flying from town to town.
Without any common courtesy or manners either.
I wasn't going to say anything, but thank you for bringing it up.
Yes, that is a failing of father.
Probably also using the excuse that she is an escort for one on a mission from God.
Does not matter. That is a failing of father.
He seems to have a lot of those.
Exactly. And one night, they will come due. And Elena just smiles.
So, our current objective is hypervigilance for our own, as well as even more when it comes to those of your clan.
Indeed.
I think I'm going to start looking in on the Zamisi.
If you can find him, I would like a meeting.
I cannot say it will be easy. It's more difficult to spy on those who can also speak with animals. But I can put out... I can do my best to try.
Good. I believe it is time we have a discussion face to face.
If it is indeed him.
If not, he will know who it is.
That is true. He is a lesser-known Nez.
Yes. He will know who it is if it is not him. And I'm sure if we do this together, at least one of us will be able to tell if he is trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
I can arrange a meeting for all of us.
Good. I understand it may take some time, but I appreciate it. Well.
Does anyone else feel that the nights are getting longer?
It is that time of year.
In more ways than one.
More time to figure out what the hell's going on and trying to correct it. I'm not complaining.
I feel like I should have slept another few centuries.
I might join you.
We wouldn't have had all this fun.
Oh, yeah, fun.
Fun. Yes.
So much.
Cleaning up messes constantly. Fun.
Can you imagine what the future's going to be?
Mm.
We'll look back at this and go, oh, if only it was back then, it was so much easier.
Looking back on the fort, it does seem rather mild compared to now. I'd almost prefer having to deal with a herd of werewolves.
That is easy, especially with those.
Yeah.
They were cowards, all of them.
They were hardly a herd. There's 5 of them.
It's more like a pack.
There were far more rats.
Yeah, that is a herd.
That was a herd.
That's a swarm.
Yes.
Believe me, as someone who's raising several, I know.
All right, there's no need to boast about your rats.
It's fine. You have the biggest rat in the room.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Stroke it a little bit. Enjoy it.
I will wait to play with my rat when you all have left the room.
Excellent. I prefer not to watch. With that, she takes her entourage.
No. With that, we're going to end this episode. We're not continuing after the rat comments. That's it. So, as we close on this episode tonight, there's a premonition hanging over him, an omen, a portent of poor fate for somebody. But you know how omens are. Sometimes they're face value, but normally there's multiple layers to it. And I'd like to thank my players, of course, you, the viewers, for coming to this episode. Everyone gets 3 XP. Didn't I give you all 4 last time?
No, you gave us 3 last time.
Okay, I'll give you 4 this time. You dealt with an abyss mystic. That's going to be difficult.
You did give us 4 last time.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, see?
Yeah, I
Good
was
try.
just answering.
You sneaky little bastard. Oh, well, give you all 4 anyway. To hell with it.
That's even worse
Again,
because it means that the mystic is going to get worse.
Yeah,
Oh, the
benevolence.
mystic's worse than you think. The coin is cursed forever.
Yeah.
Good for it.
Whoever holds it is going to want to carve up some woman somewhere. Yes. There's a reason why abyss mysticism is considered a bad thing by a lot of kindred.
Encase it in lead and drop it in the river.
Or there's always the
Stop thinking Michael Lasombra.
There's
You
always
give it
the
to an
shanky
enemy
method
and
of
get them
dealing
to
with
fuck
magical
themselves
curses.
up, killing people.
I'll play my character how I play, thanks.
The shanky method of dealing with curses is always drop it in mercury.
I'm sure that'll, yeah.
Quicksilver is a universal thing in a shanky game, so you're aware. It's come up many a time. But thank you all to the players. Thank you to the viewers. Can you believe next week is the halfway point? Well, maybe the halfway point. This season ends on episode 10 or when they solve their problems. One of the two. But the premonition has been laid. It is on our Discord for people to review. Feel free to pop over to our Discord because you can go over to our Discord and actually, go down to our Dark Ages chat. Throw your theories about what the premonition means. I'm not going to say I'll read it and make it decide. I already know what it means. But, maybe you want to go and check it out. If you want to catch our back episodes, YouTube, catch our back episode of this. You can even catch the first episode of our Old Gods of Appalachia stream that Mama, myself, me, Relin, and Ravnos Archon are all doing. Ravnos Archon runs it of all things. You want to catch any other World of Darkness, we've got it. If you want to catch our back episodes from Ishvael, which is D&D Call of Cthulhu, pop over to DM Tiss's channel. If you want to support some content creators, check out our friends list. We'll be going around and letting them talk here shortly, but check them out there. If you want to get some McStabber merch, we've got McStabber Studios merch. Nothing for Dark Ages yet, but I'm sure there'll be some eventually. Let me be fair. It takes a bit to create new merch. It takes a lot of spoons we don't have right now. So I'm sure at some point we'll do it. If you want to give something to the players, bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio, it's a way to show your thanks. If you want to give to the studio, you can go to KoFi. You can subscribe on Twitch. Twitch takes half, so KoFi's better than Twitch. But if you want to help out the studio and you're watching on YouTube, comment on the video, like the video, hit the notification icon. All those things drive up drive us up in the search, and then it presented to more people. It's a cycle, so you're aware. I did my part. Mama can give the schedule.
Is Tis back?
This weekend? Yes, she is back this weekend. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check what date.
I think you said she was back the 14th.
No. Yeah, I think she's back the 14th.
Okay.
I'll double check as you're going.
Thank you. All right. So coming up over the next week, we have tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Ravnos Archon here is running Old Gods of Appalachia with myself and Shanky as players at his table with Timber Brad and of course, Ravnos. Rev Ben Powers. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern as we do our second session of that game, because it is freaking amazing, y'all. I get to go back to my roots for that game. It's awesome. But
and yes, she is back on the 14th.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then on Friday, there is no stream because our Vampire Modern Chronicle, our V5 Chronicle set in Kansas City, A Domain Divided, does not start on the 13th. Instead, the 13th is Shanky and I's anniversary. 19 years married, 21 years together, because we got married on our couple anniversary. So we will not be streaming that night, but the next day, Saturday, the 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern, Tiss will be back with her crew of investigators in Call of Cthulhu 7E, London Esoteric Society at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you want to join them as they resume their game. Then we will be back here on Wednesday next week.
And Sunday, we get through halfway through season 4.
Are you going to be doing marathon?
Yeah, we'll do a marathon.
Okay, so Sunday we'll do a marathon starting at noon, running till about 8-ish, 9-ish. Yeah.
But we stopped on episode 4 of season 4. Big things are happening in that next episode, and the Chronicle changes after that. Trust me.
Yeah. And thank y'all for the happy anniversary. Appreciate it.
Yep. We've already done our big celebration for the anniversary. We went ghost hunting.
On a paranormal investigation. Yep. It was great. But yeah, so we'll be doing something just, minor at home, maybe having dinner or something real nice. But yeah, and then also, like I said, we'll be here Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for episode 5, the midpoint of this season, supposedly, unless we wrap shit up early.
We'll see.
So, we'll see. So that's it.
They know the pieces on the board. Now to play the game, right? And I'm going to go around the table, let everybody talk about what they got going on. Y'all know what myself and Elena have going on. Mama McStabber up there. Zach, tell everybody what you got going on, where they can find you, that good stuff.
Well, it can be found on the interwebs at zachrules.com, at Zach Rules on the Dead Bird app, and on the BS site, as well as the dice.camp. If you find me on any other ones, I don't use them, so you probably didn't find me like you found me, but I'm not going to respond in any way. I can be seen next time I will be streaming will be next Wednesday. Before this, I'll be on Onyx Path streaming The World Below, which I think is going to be their first stream since the Kickstarter launch. Backer kit launches next Tuesday. And that is raising money for Make-A-Wish. So, yeah, and then I'll be here.
Okay. Peregrine.
Listen, my uncle's name was Glenn.
You've got Carthage stuck in your ears. Tell everybody where they can find you.
On the internet, because that's where I live, because it's easier to be anywhere else but here. You'll find me here on Wednesdays. You'll find me in the RPG table. I just killed 3 people. It was excellent. That's on Saturdays. You will catch me Sundays at DC by Night. That's on Roll Call. And starting back up in November, you'll see me on some Scamps Twitch show, knowing that I'll be doing 7C again. Because that'll be cool. I can't wait to go back there. So other than that, you can find me on Cajun Nights. It's a play-by-post server for all of your World of Darkness needs.
Find her there. Trust me. Snatcher, I know I do this to you every time because I find it fun. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, and I have to come up with something clever every time, you rat bastard. Yeah, at the moment, Maddox is sitting here. Here, I'll just tell the truth. Craving mozzarella sticks. That's where you can find me. Craving mozzarella sticks on the internet.
Oh, man, I could do with some...
I'm hungry right now.
I know, I could do with some mozzarella
God
sticks.
damn it, man.
Yeah, guess where I'm going after this.
Yeah.
Nowhere delivers them at this hour at our house. Revenus Archon, tell everybody what you got going on.
Hi, everybody. I am the Revenant Archon. I play the lovable scamp that is me, Agustin de la Cruz. And I have my own Twitch channel here on Twitch that I run Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition on Mondays. I run an alternating Legend of the Five Rings or Werewolf of the Wild West on Tuesdays. This Thursday, for the month of October, I'm going to get to be running a Old Gods of Appalachia game that is set 12 years after the Civil War. So that's going to be some good old down-home creepiness. The more I research Appalachia ghost stories, the less I want to visit Appalachia. So I'm hoping that I get some of that across in the game. And every Wednesday you can catch me here where I get to play a little bit of a prodigal son. You know what I'm saying? You know, no wrong comes my way.
Let me tell you, old Joe in Old Gods Appalachia is a perfectly respectable guy. Okay, maybe he turns into an eagle once in a while. Other than that, he's perfectly respectable.
Nothing good.
He may have low-key threatened Rev Ben Power's character, but I mean, come on. It's to be expected. Look at his family name. Just say it. He's a Barrow. They deserve it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So
I love the game.
yeah, it's
I
fun.
played one session and I love the game.
It's fun. So you should definitely come check that out tomorrow night.
Mhm.
This week, you'll get a double dose of Mama and Shanky. And one of the few times you'll get to see me as a player across from my wife, which is in Old Gods Appalachia instead of me running it. So definitely check that out tomorrow. And as we always in these streams, everybody, mental health, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously. Take other people's mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay. A lot of people aren't okay, and they need a lifeline. They need just somebody reaching out and saying, hey, are you all right? To help them out. So please do that. And if you suffer from mental health issues like many of us do, first of all, it's okay to not be okay. It's important to understand that there's nothing wrong with admitting you need help once in a while. We all need help. None of us can get through life by ourselves with no help, okay? And you should always reach out to your own support network. But if you don't feel you have one, because I understand that, in chat's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line to be that lifeline you need. And if you're not in the U.S. or you're watching this on YouTube where you can't see our Twitch chat, you can go in to findahelpline.com. Put in the country you are in, and you will find the support lines in your country. Because mental health is health. And we want you to take care of yourself. We want you to take care of each other. And now I'll turn it over to my wife for her portion of the outro as I'm baking in this hot outfit.
Let me get off mute. I pulled a Ben, but
God, the guy's been back in the streams with us for one session, and we're already back to the joke.
because it's iconic. But anyway, please get your COVID booster and get your flu shot. It is now flu season and COVID is still on the rise, y'all, because folks didn't get boosted and didn't get vaccinated to begin with, and they're ending up in the hospitals and the ICUs and not doing well. So please, even people vaccinated can get COVID, okay? It doesn't stop it. It just makes your symptoms far more tolerable, okay? You will feel like crap, but you won't be so sick that you've got to end up in the hospital.
The flu vaccine don't stop you from getting the flu.
Exactly.
Same with the COVID vaccine.
Same. So please get vaccinated to protect yourself, and especially those with compromised immune systems that you interact with likely on the daily and don't even know it. Okay? So please, herd immunity is a thing. So participate. Congress is a circus.
they're planning to nominate, in his own words, I'm like David Duke without the baggage as speaker.
Fucking white people, man.
Yeah.
But
That's fucking horrifying to hear those words.
yeah. But seriously, make sure you're registered to vote and vote according to, fucking humanity. God bless. But yeah. And people in Ohio, you do have an election coming up next.
Early voting has started.
And early voting has started. So please, please, please vote. All elections are important, especially your local and state ones, because literally these people we see on the federal stage, they get their start 98% of the time in small elections like your local and state. So you can literally choose who ends up in the federal arena just by who you choose in your local and state elections. So please vote every time.
And vote yes on Proposition 1 in Ohio in the early voting, please.
Absolutely.
Vote yes on Proposition 2. Proposition 2 is legalizing marijuana.
Yes.
So vote yes on both Proposition 1 and 2.
Yes.
One is enshrining the state constitution and body autonomy.
Yes.
I don't believe all the shit they're claiming about it. It just leaves things intact to the way it was before Roe v. Wade was overturned, which isn't perfect, but it's better than what they're wanting. So vote yes on both those propositions, please.
And just understand, the GOP has just openly, with who they're going to nominate for speaker, flat out saying they're racist pieces of shit. So literally stop voting for these people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, politics aside, don't vote crazy people
Don't
into office
vote
for anything.
bigots and racists and fucking inhumane bastards into positions of power. Thank you. Said with love.
Said with love. Said with a lot of love. And I do thank everyone for coming. Thank you, players. And we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.